I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
Well, a few days after Mother's Day, three women started boasting about how great their Mother's Day was. And the first one says, wow, what an amazing Mother's Day I had. My son, that wonderful boy, threw a big, fancy party in a restaurant for me. And he even paid for the plane tickets for some of my friends to come. And the second one says, oh, that's very nice. But listen to this. For Mother's Day last year, my son gave me an all-expense cruise to the Greek islands. First class. Oh, that's nothing, said the third woman. For 5 years now, my son has been paying a psychiatrist $150 an hour, 3 times a week, and the whole time he talks about nothing but me. So I want you to think about a time that you made your mother a gift. Can you think about that? That you made your mother a gift, or that you made your mother a Mother's Day card. Just think about that. I remember that, and maybe remember what it felt like. You know, I taught first and second grades for 3 years, and so here are some Mother's Day cards that represent kind of what I saw from my classes on Mother's Day. And I just love the feeling of these amazing pictures that these kids draw. And of course, you know, the real fun in it is the way that they do it, right? I used to teach in a little tiny classroom. Actually, it was about 15 by 15, and I had 20 kids in that class. It was in a trailer, actually. And the kids had wooden desks, and they would lean into those old wooden desks, and they had slick things on the bottom, so they moved forward, right? And so just before recess, I'd find myself pinned against the wall by all of these kids, because when they get into their work, they would like push their chairs forward as they're coloring and drawing and whatnot. But I love the energy and the love that they had for their mothers. You know, and sometimes it's the little things that we remember about our mothers that make them so special. I'm going to show you a video in a moment of a 4-year-old boy whose name is Gavin, and he's born blind. And so this video is of his mother encouraging him to walk with a stick for the first time. So I just realized that I didn't plug in my audio here.
Step down, Bubba. Find the curb.
Where's the curb?
Find it.
Now where are you going?
Let's get that struck.
Okay.
You got it.
I want you.
You got it.
I can do it.
You can do it.
I can do it.
You can do it, baby. Go ahead. You're safe. Good job. You got it. Turn. Good job. So proud of you.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just the little things that make such a big difference that our mothers do for us. Our mothers are the givers of life, and for many of us, and often they're the encouragers, the first encouragers that we have in our life that encourage us to be the best that we can be. Last week, we talked about the pearl of great value. And this comes from a parable that Jesus tells. Do you remember about the merchant who sells everything that he has so he can purchase the pearl of great price or great value? And what that is about for us is for us to own everything in our lives, to own the great things that happen to us, to own the things that aren't so great, to own the challenges, to own the possibilities, to own our spiritual growth. And as we become spiritually connected and spiritually aware, we really begin to allow and really embrace even the challenges that happen to us in life. This, like an oyster, we can sometimes get a grain of sand under our skin. Ever notice? Or on Maui, we can get some grains of sand in our sandals, right? But what that means spiritually is when we get a grain of sand under our skin spiritually, instead of getting angry with it, we embrace it and look for what does this challenging opportunity have to show us about our higher selves? What can we learn from that grain of sand? You know, Jung came up with the idea of Carl Jung, the idea of the archetype. And so we're kind of looking at the feminine archetype today. And if you are familiar with archetypes, when I mention a hero, I wonder what the archetype of a hero, what kind of an image do you get in your mind? Wonder Woman. Oh, no kidding. Did you look at my notes? So that's great. Somebody yelled out, Wonder Woman. I don't know if you heard that. But Wonder Woman, yes. Or Superman. Or Mother Mary. A hero, right? And an archetype of the divine feminine, right? And who's the gentleman down the right-hand corner? Neo from what? The Matrix. Also, the kind of a hero image, kind of a Christ figure also. And so these archetypes are images that we have in our minds that represent a behavior and a way of being. So when we think of the Divine Mother, we often think of kindness. We think of love. We think of encouraging us. And we think of just somebody that supports us all the time. And this is kind of a collective consciousness idea that we have, and that's how Jung talked about it. And sometimes our mothers kick us out of the nest, right? Sometimes our mothers don't always do the things that we think that we should do, right? I can imagine for that poor little bird, it's going, ah, right? You're expecting me to fly? Sometimes our mothers are that grain of sand under our skin that through their behavior, consciously or sometimes unconsciously, give us the opportunity to grow. Because part of that motherly archetype is the other side, which is the person who doesn't always give us everything that we want all the time, and sometimes pushes our buttons or can be that grain of sand in our sandals. So here's the thing. Not all mothers are perfect mothers. And some of us who have been mothers, or called mothers, may not be perfect all the time, right? And so what this idea we're looking at today is, how can we love these mothers, however they appear in our life, regardless of the way that we'd like to think of them? How can we love them anyway? How can we love ourselves? You know, and when we're talking about the archetype of motherly love, we're not talking about, you know, our gender, right? We're talking because we all have the capacity, whether we're male or female, to experience and express motherly love. And sometimes we do it great, and sometimes we don't do it so great, right? However, I believe that all of us always do the best that we can, even though sometimes it's not perfect. And if we don't have that perfect mother, we can sometimes latch on to or perpetuate the sadness that we feel because we don't think we had a perfect mother. And so we can view our lives through the perspective that we've been abused or ignored or abandoned, or we've been the unfortunate child in our lives. And we can sometimes play out that paradigm trying to get that love that we lost. We live out that childhood trying to find the mother, get the mother who our mothers couldn't be in the perfect way. And sometimes we can be over needy. Somebody who is really needy is probably that way because they didn't get love the way that they would like to have gotten loved in their life. So we can spend our whole lives looking to get the love that we never got, or acting out as if we have everything. I got it all, right? I've been loved. And try to appear to other people like we have it all. So, there's a pain that some people experience that keeps us in this loop. And so what we're going to talk about today is how can we get out of this loop? How can we become whole? How can we embrace the love that is here so that we are fully expressed people not looking for something that we didn't get? The truth is we can never heal by attempting to fix our woundedness. But what we can do is to embrace the love that we had in our lives and look for that love, sort of like looking for what we got instead of what we didn't get. And really appreciating what our mothers gave us, what our friends gave us, what our other archetypal people who acted as our mothers or encouraged us in our life. Do y'all have memories like that? I think everybody has a few people in their life that encourage them. Didn't you have somebody who encouraged you when you were growing up? I know I had a 7th grade teacher who encouraged me. He saw that in me, and he worked with me and gave me some of what I didn't have or didn't get from someplace else. And so the way that we can become whole is by focusing on what we got and not what we didn't get. And just embellishing it and embracing it and really allowing ourselves to appreciate and be grateful for the love that we received. The key really is to change our perspective and the way that we see our lives. And to let go of those old stories. After all, they're just stories, right? They're stories we tell ourselves about how our childhood was, our past was, and then we show up as an actor in that story. So the idea is that we change the way we perceive our past and focus on the love that we got, the love that we received, the love that we gave in the same way. I've told the story before of my stepmom, or of my mother who died when I was 8. And this was a significant event in my life and had huge consequences. But today I want to focus on, just to tell you a little bit about my stepmother. After my dad died, when my when my mom died, my dad remarried and I got a stepmom. And she was amazing. She loved me. I really felt like I was part of the family. I never felt like, she didn't give me what she would give a child. And perhaps that's part of the power of this for me, because she had problems also. She married my stepdad, right? And my stepdad was very controlling, very, in my opinion, very bigoted, and psychologically abused me. And my mother could never stand up to my stepdad. And she would stand in the same room when he was abusing me psychologically. And for a long time, I resented that. I resented that she couldn't stand up for me. I resented that what my stepfather did to me. And then I had an idea. This idea came to me that I'm not going to focus on that anymore. I'm going to focus on what I got, on the love that she gave me, and the time and the commitment that she made to me to love me. And that's what I am holding on to, and that's how she impacted my life in a positive way. Our mothers nurture and love us, and they also encourage us to jump out of the nest. They offer us love and transformation. Our mothers nurture us, and they can be the sand in our shell, the sand in our skin that empowers us to be the best that we can be. My stepmother offered me a great gift. She offered me the opportunity to look within myself and discover my strength, my power, my humor, and to be able to move into a place where I really love myself. And I wonder, what grains of sand have transformed into pearls of great value in your life? What ways have something that maybe seemed hurtful at the time, or something that your mother did, or something that somebody else did, that you can turn it around now, change your perspective, and look at it and see the positive value of how you adjusted to that to be the person that you are today? Anybody got something? Yeah, what was it for you?
It's kind of a long story, but basically I've been wanting to come back to Maui for years, and my work situation on the Big Island got more and more unbearable. And I resented it for a while, but as I was trying to get TDI, I also realized the universe was going, time to go.
Oh, yeah.
Need more encouragement.
So a situation in your life, and this happened to many of us. A situation happened in our life that gave us the opportunity to move to Maui, right? Did that happen for anybody else here? Where something happened, didn't feel great necessarily at the time, but it gave you the opportunity to come here. And that's the beauty of the sand that gets under our skin, in our sandals, in our shells. These can be the gifts that propel us forward in our life. So the whole idea today is to change our perspective so we can see these grains of sand. Could be something our mother said or did, or something else, even something that we did ourselves that we can use to propel us to appreciate what we have. I am a gracious receiver of motherly love. Let's say that together. I am a gracious receiver of motherly love. To really feel that. And we are, of course, receivers of it, and we are givers of it also. Because when we change our perspective and we look at the challenging things that happen in our life as gifts, it's like we let go of the resentment that holds us back. so that we can be totally present. Some people are so focused on what they didn't get in their life that they can't enjoy this moment right now because they're playing those old tapes, playing those old stories, instead of appreciating what we have, what we got, who we are right now. And I think it's also a good time in talking about this to forgive ourselves for anything that we perceive that we might have done that wasn't up to the level that we'd like to have lived our lives, or the way that we'd like to have lived our lives. You know, not all of us can be great mothers or express motherly love all of the time. But you know how I know this? You know what the great determining factor is? If we're breathing, we sometimes don't do it right. Right? Anybody breathing? Yeah. You know, and so the whole idea is to love ourselves even in the midst of holding and not hold ourselves hostage for the things that we believe that we did that weren't perfect. This is how we grow. This is how we evolve spiritually. And many of us don't have kids. How many people don't have children here? You know, and I know for Emily and I, we don't have children, but we've always thought that the benefit that we have in not having children is that everybody is our child. And that we have this love to give, and that we can give it freely. And that's really the invitation today also, is to be able to give the love that you have. Because everyone has the capacity to nurture and to love. Everyone. So this Mother's Day, let's celebrate the people who nurtured us and loved us on the way. And I invite you in the next week and today to look at who are some of those people that nurtured you, and to give thanks for them. And for me, thank that 7th grade teacher that I had. To thank the other people in your life that supported you, loved you, encouraged you to be who you are. So I'd like to end with this poem titled My Mom. The author wrote, "My first love was my mom. My first tears were shared with my mom. My first happiness was with my mom. My first pain was because of my mom. My first poem is only for my mom."
Okay. All right. This is the time in our service to prepare for meditation. And we're going to sing The Mother and I Are One. And you'll recognize the tune. The mother and I are one. The mother and I are one. Are one, are one, are one, are one. The mother and I are one. Let's, if you don't mind, let's sing that together, kind of center and think about the Divine Mother. The mother and I are one. The mother and I are one. Are one, are one, are one, are one. The mother and I are one. Sing Divine Love. Divine love and I are one. Divine love and I are one. one, a one, a one, a one. Divine love and I are one. Spirit and I are one. Spirit and I are one. A one, a one, a one, a one. Spirit and I are one. The ooze.
Breathing in and relaxing into this place of divine love, of motherly love. Relaxing into the essence of truth, into the spirit that you are, into the allness. Breathing in and breathing out. And I invite you to reflect on your mother. Imagine that she's holding you, that Spirit is holding you, that love is holding you. And this motherly love looks upon you as the beautiful being that you are, full of life, full of joy. And relax into this feeling. Beautiful, perfect, full of strength, full of power, full of truth and understanding. And imagine that you can be aware of some sand, a grain of sand in your shoes, in your slippers, in your sandals. And step out of those sandals into the warmth of love, to let go. And to give thanks for the sandals and the grain of sand that brought you here. And to stand in this place of love and light and beauty and peace. And let's just take a moment or two to join together and embody and embrace motherly love, spiritual love. And let's do that now. Breathing in and breathing out. Really feeling the love today. Let's let this day be a celebration of love. To appreciate those who share their love with us. And in the same way, to go forward today, seeing the love in everyone and beholding all life with the eyes of love. Well, this time I invite you to prepare your tithes and your love offerings and your donations to Unity on Maui. And invite you to think about how are you a mother? I got a few giggles on that one. How are you a mother? How will you be a mother in the future? What is it that you bring to your life? What is it? How is it that Spirit manifests as you as motherly love? And are you willing to maybe turn that up a little bit? To embrace that fullness of that mother spirit, that Christ spirit that's within you in a way that positively affects the world. I really believe that that's ultimately why we're here, to share our love, to share our light, to share the motherly part of us. So as you give to us today, I invite you to, as you give, to let this be your commitment to yourself, to be more motherly, to be more loving. And to those of you watching on Facebook today, you can go to our website, www.unityonmaui, and make a safe donation there, or you can send something to 483 South High Street in Wailuku. And we'd like to celebrate with you, and we know that as you give with us, that you participate in this amazing work that we do, and that your lives will be transformed through your energy, through your love, and through your gifts. So why don't we take our gifts and let's hold them and affirm together our affirmation of prosperity, which begins, through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. right, so these amazing roses behind me are offered by Michelle Berg and Mike Rodby in celebration of Mother's Day today. And I wonder if we could have a couple of volunteers that'd be willing to stand by the back door and pass out the flowers today. Would that be, anybody be willing to do that? Okay. So after the service, Kayla, how would you come get them and take them back there? That'd be great. Thank you.
There's someone else here that wants to do it. Oh, I said I would.
Okay. Well, y'all wrestle about it and decide back there. It's too big a decision for me to make right now, but you all work it out.
Mother's Day.
It's Mother's Day. We'll let a mother make the decision, right? So Michelle says the flowers are for people who are mothers, were mothers, or had a mother. So I think that pretty much includes everybody in this room. I guess unless you've been cloned, then do you have a mother if you've been cloned? So if you'd like to offer flowers on Sunday, we have a sign-up sheet in the back, and just put your name and how you'd like the flowers dedicated, and bring them, and you get to take them home. Most of the time, the roses, I'm sorry, you guys, you won't be able to take them home today. But thank you very much for your generosity. We love and appreciate you both so much. Yeah. And if you're a father, don't feel neglected, because we'll have roses for you on Father's Day also next month. So we believe in treating everybody fairly around here. And then the mothers get them again. It's just a circle. All right, so I promised this talk, or I said I'd say this talk today, this series on Renee Brown's Rising Strong. But I'm going to start that next week. And I think this is a really powerful book. And it kind of asks us the question, are you active in the arena or watching from the stands? You know, I like to think that on the spiritual path that we are on, we have agreed to stand in our truth, to be expressions of the light and love, and to do so with power, and to encourage others to be that powerful presence in the world also. So in this series, we'll look at what can we do to be powerful representations of love and light in the world. So join us next week, and we'll begin that series. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Anybody like Brene Brown's work? Wow. And Mike Fleenor has started a great thing here at Unity on Maui of doing 2 activities a month that get us out and help us get found. Last week it was get lost, but some people didn't come back from the last event, so they're still looking for them. No, that's not true, of course, but there were some people that, anybody here go hiking yesterday? Because I know Mike and Eleanor arranged a hike yesterday. And so they have, what's coming up? Oh, it's a password game night that's happening Saturday, May 21st from 4:30 to 6:30 right here. So if you like to play games, come in and do that. I know it'll be a lot of fun. And if you enjoyed my talk today, and you want to make sure you know what I talked about tomorrow so you can tell all your friends, I wrote this thing called Walk Your Talk, and it's kind of a summary of what I talked about, and it's on the back table. Please take one if you'd like. And I think that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen, for today. So please stand and take a deep breath. And let's know and affirm this truth as we say the prayer for protection together, and then Robin will lead us in the peace song. So let's begin by saying, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you, friends. Thank you for being here today.
Where I live, they're all raised.